Mending or short notes. What are the contrasting views presented in the poem Mending Wall? The poem Mending Wall is a beautifully written philosophical poem by the great American poet Robert Frost. It is about two neighbors who repair their compound wall every spring. The winter snow and the hunters' activities break the wall. During spring, the two neighbors meet and mend the wall. The poet is of the opinion that there is something that doesn't love a wall and there is no need of a wall. The poet has an apple orchard and his neighbor has a pine orchard. The poet says that his apple tree will never get close his neighbor's pine orchard and eat the corns under his pines. So there is no need of a wall. But the neighbor is firm in his opinion that good fences make good neighbors. The poet could not understand how good fences make good neighbors. The poet states that there are no cows to destroy the neighbor's orchard. So the poet feels confused and says that there is no need of a wall. But the neighbors stick onto his father's saying that good fences make good neighbors. According to the poet, wall destroys harmony and brotherhood. To the poet, wall becomes a barrier between relationship. But according to his neighbor, wall keeps the relationship better. To him, wall maintains healthy relationship. These are the contrasting views presented in the poem Mending Walls. Elaborate the idea in the line, good fences make good neighbors. Good fences make good neighbors is a paradoxical statement made by the neighbor in the poem Mending Wall by the great American poet Robert Frost. The two neighbors repair their compound wall every spring. The winter snow and the hunters' activities break the wall. During spring, the two neighbors meet and mend the wall. The poet is of the opinion that there is something that doesn't love a wall and there is no need of a wall. The poet has an apple orchard and his neighbor has a pine orchard. The poet says that his apple tree will never get close his neighbor's pine orchard and eat the cones under his pines. So there is no need of a wall. But the neighbor is firm in his opinion that good fences make good neighbors. The poet could not understand how good fences make good neighbors. The poet states that there is no cows to destroy the neighbor's orchard. So the poet feels confused and says that there is no need of a wall. But the neighbor sticks on his father saying that good fences make good neighbors. According to the poet, wall destroys harmony and brotherhood. To the poet, wall become a barrier between relationship. But according to his neighbors, wall keep the relationship better. To him, wall maintains healthy relationship. It seems to be in an irony or a paradox, but we can see relationship break when people are too close. Hence, a sort of distance is required in every relationship. The distance reduces conflict. Then only the relationship goes smoother. That is why the neighbor says, good fences make good neighbors. The next question. Explain the line, before I built a wall. I did ask to know what I was walling in or walling out. The poem Mending Wall is a beautifully written philosophical poem by the great American poet Robert Frost. It is about two neighbors who repair their compound wall every spring. The winter snow and the hunter's activities break the wall. During spring, the two neighbors meet and mend the wall. The poet is of the opinion that there is something that doesn't love a wall and there is no need of a wall. The poet has an apple orchard and the neighbor has a pine orchard. The poet says that his apple tree will never get across his neighbor's pine orchard and eat the cones under his pines. So there is no need of a wall. But the neighbor is firm in his opinion that good fences make good neighbors. The poet could not understand how fences make good relationship with the good neighbors. The poet says that there are no cows to destroy his neighbor's orchard, but the poet feels confused and says that there is no need of a wall. The wall represents all kinds of relationship, all kinds of separation and division. The poet says, "Before I built a wall, I would ask to know what was walling in and walling out." So you can write after that, neighbor's orchard. The poet here means that when we build wall, we include certain kind of people with similar ideas and interests inside the wall. Likewise, we wall out certain kinds of people with ideas and interests different from us. Likewise, we wall out. Okay, we wall in. Always wall in people with people who are having similar ideas and interests as of ours, and we wall out or we go away from people who are opposite to our character. Thus, wall destroy harmony and brotherhood. Okay, that was very good. What is the message of the poem Mending Wall? The poem Mending Wall presents two opposite ideas of maintaining a wall. The poet doesn't like a idea of wall. He believes that in fraternity and brotherhood to live harmoniously. But the walls represent all kinds of separation and division. The poet's neighbor stick on to his forefathers' ideas on building fences. He believes that good fences help to maintain fraternity, brotherhood, and tolerance. The poet doesn't agree to his neighbor's idea, so he calls his neighbor an old stone savage. He also says that neighbors move in darkness. Still, he cooperates with his neighbor to mend the wall. People around us belong to different nationalities, race, religion, and community. They speak different languages and follow different customs and tradition. We should go beyond these differences and live in harmony. The theme and message is very relevant now. And okay. And there is two more questions left. And the next question can be written on the basis of other 4 questions. And the 6th question, which is important, describe the poetic devices in the poem Mending Wall. The poem Mending Wall is an irregular poem. There is no regular rhyme scheme or structure. The poet uses symbols, imagery, and other devices like simile, metaphor, etc. to add beauty to this poem. Wall is a powerful symbol used in the poem. Wall signifies all those differences which separate people. The poem is rich in visual, auditory, and tactile imagery. The frozen ground swelling under the wall is a visual image. The neighbor moving in darkness, grasping a stone, is another visual image. The yielding dog is an auditory image. We wear our fingers rough is an example of tactile image. The neighbor moving in darkness, grasping the stone,